Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Today, we finally have a real episode, okay? I know you guys have been waiting for about a week and a half, for a real podcast episode, but I'm going to bring that to you guys today. Now, if you guys watched my last video, which I recommend that you do, it'll give you a lot of information about what's to come for the future. But I did mention that we will have a podcast episode with one of my good friends, Kabrelle Smith, and today is finally that day where you guys get to listen to what he has to say. So that is what is going to be coming up next. So stay tuned. So, Kabrelle, tell the audience about yourself.
Hello. My name is Kabrelle Smith. I am 21 years old. Um, I've been in college for almost 3 years and almost done, but I've been backed up with a bit of classes. So, of course, I got a little more to get done. I'm part of Kappa Epsilon, or formerly was. I'm a what's called alumni right now because I'm a father of one of Ezekiel boy, and then I also played rugby for a little bit, and I'm a computer science major.
Okay, those are all very interesting facts, and I hope that the audience will get to know you a bit more. And in terms of your relations to me, you are my best friend,
Mm-hmm.
and I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of you, because you always kept me on the right path, and that's something that I always appreciated. You know, you you're always there for me, and that's something that I will never forget.
Yeah, I mean, you already got good sense. You just need the right person to put the sense where. I mean, you had it in you. You will survive. You will survive.
And I know most of you guys might be wondering, why did I decide to bring one of my friends onto this podcast? Well, the reason why is because I feel like my friend Cabral, he has a very unique perspective on life, and I feel like that's something we can all benefit on, because it has for sure benefit me. If I needed some advice for something that I was going through with school or anything personal, if I have any questions about something that I'm just not sure of, he is the first person that I always went to. And the advice that he always delivered to me, it was neutral. It had little bias, but it was always in the best interest of myself. And that's something that I really appreciate. And that's something that I feel like all of us should try to achieve when it comes to speaking to our own friends. We should be blunt and we should be honest to them, because that is what they need. They don't need someone always saying yes to everything that they want to do, because
Yeah,
that isn't going to help your friend grow.
you're right. No, that's right. And again, I mean, back to you. I mean, you've been an honest friend throughout college. I mean, I met you in college. First started, you was just barely even 18. But honestly, genuinely, yeah, I would call you one of my brothers. I mean, again, I mean, you're one of the people I stuck to, and we were just able to go thick and thin with each other. Like even if I remember we dorm in the summer dorms together. Oh my God, Jesus,
Oh yeah,
Brown was
I
my.
remember the Brown saga. Yeah.
Oh my God, Brown Saga was basically one of those times where you basically surviving on pizza rolls and hot pockets into a microwave, just being in your room gaming.
Yeah.
But I really like again, he gives me a lot of credit, but I'm biased. I am biased like every other human being. But again, I feel like everyone like when I talk to my friends, I usually don't try to be so biased. Even to my girlfriend, I don't try to be so biased to her. But again, like I tell them what they want to hear, of what a little bit mix of what they need to hear, and I'm not perfect. I mean, there's so many imperfections about me. Like I pray about each day to get better. I notice it and I try to get better. But what's called just as a newly father and then trying to get back to school is just I'm not expecting the miracles. But I mean, just having someone like Kerv. having a friend in the corner that's always there, checking on you or trying to see what you're doing. You trying to see what he's doing. Just reminds you that you're a person too. So it just gives me a good fresh air from everything, you know. So I feel that you're a big help and your biggest friend, brother I ever had in my life. One of my many brothers I have, but you always hold a special part in my heart, especially during the Brown saga. That was
Yeah,
something right
that that was so peak. That was so peak.
there.
I low
Peak
key,
again.
I low key miss those times because life was, it was a lot simpler than how it is now. You know, we were still freshmen off our
Mm,
first year of high school, and we had a lot to look forward to, and we still do. We certainly
yeah,
still do, but we certainly have a lot more
effort.
responsibilities that
A
we
lot
have to
more.
deal with.
I
And
mean,
yeah,
yeah, it's just hard. I'm sorry for cutting you off,
no,
but
that's fine, it's fine.
yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, I mean, before we didn't realize, we had to worry about that. Now, we're just like, oh my god, exams, taxes. We even worry about political stuff now. Some of us, mainly me. But I mean, yeah, definitely those days were easier, a little bit easier on the mind.
Yeah, and back to what you said earlier, I do try my best to be a good friend to all my friends, and I know that with a lot of people, I don't keep up with them because as life goes on, we drift apart. But I am trying to set a goal for myself to revisit those people and send them a message, let them know that I still think about them and that I'm always there for them, because you
Yeah.
never know what someone is going through. That one message, it might save their life. It might encourage them to keep pursuing whatever goal they're trying to pursue. And us as humans, we just need to be more aware of other people and not be
Mm.
so and not be so selfish.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I know you like you were the main person even then, like first year, like someone move away, to transfer to new school, and you would be checking on them playing games. Like what's called one of our friends we still play Marvel Rivals with. Yeah, I know you play with her, even though she transferred all the way up to Atlanta. But again, you're right. Keep in contact with people, help people understand that they are still there and that you're still friends. And as human beings, we're social creatures. Like we need to stay social, even if we try to convince ourselves that we can survive our own, by ourselves. Like I can't survive, especially without my girlfriend here. With Ezekiel, my son. Like I would probably, just fail apart many times over if she wasn't here.
Yeah, and I do need to bring her onto the podcast one day. I need to get her the app.
Oh my God, try to get her yap. I mean, you can get her the yap. But again, it just depends. It depends. I think she will love it though. I think she will love
Yeah, me too. Me too.
it. Mm-hmm.
So, one thing I really wanted to ask you is how is it being a father? But before we get into that, I want to say a few things about being a father. Even though I'm not a father myself, it's just the things that I've seen. You know, so for me, growing growing up, I did have a complete family, but around the age of 5 or 6, my parents divorced, and I was living with my mom, and I wasn't able to see my father as much. I was able to see him, on the weekends, on the weekdays, Monday, Tuesday, every week. And I really enjoyed being over at his place because being with my mom and my siblings, they were really harsh on me.
Mm-hmm.
They were strict because, they want to keep me out of trouble, which is something
Right.
that's I will always remember. But
Right. Family.
when it came to being with my father at his house, it just feels like I could really be a kid and just do things that kids do, cuz
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have him pestering me about homework and trying to ingrain all these lessons into me, even though I know it's what a father is supposed to do. But since I already had that part of my life fulfilled, it's like when I was my father, I
Mm-hmm.
was I was really comforted. You know, I felt really happy just being near him, even though
Right.
there's some sort of language barrier, especially since you know, I was younger and he wasn't living in the States for as long. I still felt the amount of love that he had for me. And maybe my
Okay.
other and maybe my other siblings can't say that cuz they weren't really close with my father, cuz ever since the divorce happened, and you know, my father, he did some things, you know,
Right.
when everyone gets emotional, because you know, divorce isn't an easy thing to deal with. You know, things happen and they resented my father for it, but me, as a young kid that didn't fully understand everything,
Yeah.
I still love my father, and I still do to this day, and I try to talk to him every week. It's just I how do I explain this? Like, I was really neutral. It's, you know,
Right.
since I was a kid, you know, it doesn't matter what my siblings told me about what he did. In my
It was not.
eyes, yeah, yeah. Mhm. You can go ahead.
Oh yeah, I would say I was just saying like it was not your history. Like again, you were young,
Hmm.
you don't know the things, or you didn't experience those same things with your father. So I get what you're saying. Like that's why, again, I feel you on that part too. With my dad, I feel you on that part.
Hmm. It's just again, it didn't matter what they said to me. I was still going to love my father. Every time I visit him, I was still going to be that little kid that that I was, and I wanted to make sure that he knew that no matter what happened in the past, that I still loved
Mm-hmm.
him no
Right.
matter what, and that, you know, I will always be here for him, you know. So that's why I
Oh,
call him, let him know that I'm here, say a few words to him, even though we can't have a full conversation, because you know there's a culture gap and there's a language barrier. I always try to make sure that I acknowledge him as my father.
yeah, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. And again, adding on to the part like talking about your dads. Like the true thing is what motivates me to be a dad. Not to want to call quits on this and everything. Because one thing is like I realized as a human being, as a father and everything, it's not only a responsibility, but it also has to be your choice. Because he may be coming, your child may be coming in the world no matter what you say or do. But it is your choice to be a good dad. It is your choice to be there. Just like you, like I wasn't in a complete family. Like my mom had me young, and me and my brother young with my dad. And my dad, I'm not saying he stuck there. He stuck there a couple years, like I say, like a few years, like 3 years. But things fall apart. True love doesn't exist. But again, it does in those who try to keep pursuing it. And that's why I think I love my dad also, and that's why I get you when you say, even though he wasn't there all the time, but when you were there with him, you still loved him. And I didn't have as much time as you may have, but every time I had with him, even as a kid, I loved him. I admired him. I visualized him as like a god to me. You know, I always wanted to see my dad. I always wanted to be there, and I'm not saying I was never disappointed. But again, I'm just saying, like, the admiration, the love I have for him is still, and right now in this moment, internal. Like, he's doing better now. Nowadays, like, our communication is so much better because actually he had just recently my younger brother. So, me and him are relating on a different, same thing. We both new, like, more new dads. Well, I'm more of a new dad. He's still a dad, but he's now stepping up and, filling the shoes more better. So we're more better to communicate on that. But there's plenty of times I've resented my dad in my own brain. Sometimes I'll think like why does he think of me, not think of me, or he doesn't love me. And so I love him, and that love is what motivates me to be a better father because I feel like if I try to neglect or reject this responsibility, then I'll just end up to being doing the wrongdoing or the regret that my dad did. Because I know my dad would have loved to stay the years, not deal with all the stuff he's dealing with right now, and just have me and my brother. But that's why I'm thinking I'm learning from his mistakes and everyone else's mistakes. So I just I may have not planned this, but I am still gonna go through it like it's been planned. Because being a father is not just about like saying yes, that's my kid. Yes, I am the dad. It's more about having the willpower to stay up middle of the night, at 2 to 3 a.m. with your child as he screams or they cry. You don't know what to do, and your partner's over here having a panic and everything. You have to be there as stability. Not many dads get the pat on the back, but like any dad that's new, any dad that's been, I respect you for those who stayed. Because like honestly, staying is hard, but it's like the best thing to do. Because like if you don't stay, you're gonna regret it. You're gonna hate yourself. You're gonna beat yourself up. Even if you're just a scumbag on the earth, you're gonna regret it one day, no matter who you are. I know my dad did,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why he's staying with my younger brother. So that's just one of the things that motivates me. And I feel like every dad can understand this, even if they had a father in their life or didn't. But that love, that fatherly love, is something that you either learn by seeing or something you have been motivated because of lack of. And that's why, no matter what anyone says, I don't care what anyone tells me or anything. I'm staying with my girlfriend, I'm staying with Zeke, and nothing can persuade me. I'm down to keep this down because I feel like being a dad is a superpower that you have to have is just constant, just being constant. You're gonna waver. You're not strong. Like you're not invincible. You have your weaknesses, but to be able to channel those weaknesses and convert them into strengths is what makes us human and makes you a very powerful father. That's why I think it is to be a father.
Those are some very strong words right there.
Thank you.
Yeah. So when it comes to my father and my siblings, is a few things that my siblings would say to me is that they wonder if my dad feels bad, for not being around as much after the divorce. And I don't know, and I don't think that's something I can really speak to him about. But I feel like they can. But I feel like they're using that to hold some sort of resentment towards him, like, oh, like he didn't really love us, or like he didn't want to be there for us. Maybe he just didn't know how to communicate that. Maybe he just simply didn't know what to do. And
No, no, you.
and growing up, you know, I only had one dad, so there was no one I could really compare him to. Yes, I had father figures, but they're not, my father. And since I have
No,
only one father, I can only compare him to himself, and I try to be as understanding as I can. Cause, and yes, he could have done more. He could have done a lot more, but I'm still grateful for the things that he did and for the things
mm,
that he's doing for me now. Even though it's not much, I'm happy to know that he
you
has my
care.
so that yeah that he cares, and that he has my support. Because if I ever need anything, I can go to him, and he won't even second second guess what I need.
Just be.
And like maybe he does feel some sort of guilt, and maybe that's why he is so adamant when it comes to helping me.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that too. I mean, honestly, your dad. I mean, again, I'm not your dad. Like, I wouldn't
Hmm.
know what he thinks. But like, just thinking lines of like, things just happen. Falling out between partners. Like, I couldn't imagine what I'll do between me and Ayla falling out. But I know I'll try to be there for Zeke no matter what.
Hmm.
And as a younger kid in the family, I definitely see that it's just different for you because they grew up with your dad to the point of the divorce.
Yeah.
You were a little bit afterwards, I mean, a little bit before, and now mostly afterwards. So again, they're gonna have their opinions, but they still, even no matter what, they're gonna still seek that fatherly love. But as they matured and got older, they kind of got used to it, and that's the thing about when you get older and you get set in your ways. And again, that's not fault to them. Like your siblings have rights to feel that way because they've been there. Like if you were there, seeing what your dad did, been in the moment, you probably feel some type of way too. But again, you probably still love your dad at the same time. But again, that's to each person. Like, I don't
Yeah.
blame you. That's why, again, you loving your father is amazing, because some people resent their dads, not seeing them. Again, even if they help them, they still hate them. And I'm not saying they shouldn't do that. I'm not saying that at all. Like, again, it's your choice to accept them or not. And your dads are just humans. They're not gods. That's one thing I realized, especially with my parents, my mom and my dad, my grandma, and everyone in my life, is that they're not superheroes. They're not guaranteed to do as they say. And that's why it's so powerful when the child is understanding just as much as the father is the mother. And that kind of love from a child is so crucial, and that's what I can't wait till he gets old enough to realize, as much as I love him, Ezekiel, how much he loves me. Because the love that you pour into someone is the love you get back. And I know you love your dad, and
Yeah,
I
of
know your
course.
siblings love their dad too. But
Hmm.
it's just different situations, just different situations.
Hmm. I feel like a lot of people needed to hear that. Hmm.
Yeah.
Now, another question that I have for you is, were you scared when you first got the news that you were going to be a father? And did you feel the same way when you actually popped out?
No, yeah, like Lord, bro. I be honest, like the first time I heard the news, I was terrified. Not really, mostly for myself. I mean, again, I was worried about myself and my future, but again, I was worried about me, Ayla at the time, like worried about us, because it just a kid is a lot. I'm not gonna deny the responsibility is great, because you're gonna be spending most, like, probably 30 to 40% of your money, future income, on that child. Especially depends on how much money you make. But I was scared. Yeah, I was scared. I was winning my pants. We were trying to figure out ways how to deal with it. We were even thinking about, abortion, adoption, and I know both things could be cruel. But again, at the end of the day, we decided to keep them because, you know, once we passed the 9 months, Ayla was adamant about keeping him for, like, the whole duration. I was along with her plan, because I was not going to force her to have an abortion if she didn't want to. I did convince, like, try to talk to her about the options. But again, end of the day, a woman's body is a woman's body. I'm not gonna sit here and tell her what she wants to do with it. But when he came out, finally after the 9 months, we both had doubts. Even at the end, we started having doubts. We were scared. But when he came out, everything was just right. It just, you get this euphoria feeling, that in that moment nothing matters. And I know it's cliche and cheesy, but like truly, like when I first held him and I first saw him, I didn't give no craps about anything else. I didn't care about anything else in that moment. I picked him up, held him, sat down. I acted like he was like fragile glass in my hand that anytime I drop him, he just breaks. It just, having a kid is life changing, and it just changes your perspective, because that is half of you. That is you in your arms. So it just, like, it goes from fear to a euphoria, like, like a moment of just realization that you have brought life that is part of you and forever outlived you. So it makes you feel greater. Now, I'm not saying it's not tough. Like, it's definitely tough. But again, life is gonna get harder no matter what you do. Like, you might as well just choose the things that will give you greater reward than just go for the easy way out. Honestly.
Yeah. And man, that I don't know. I'm not sure what to say to that because it's not something that I can relate to right now. But
I
it
mean,
is
you can say
certainly
something.
something that one day I wish to experience as well in the future.
Yeah, I think you'll
And
be a great dad. I think you'll be a great dad. You'll be
yeah,
like the
me.
type where you'll be honest, very honest to your kids,
Yeah, yes,
but
definitely.
you would not
Oh,
hold back when you say. Unless it's a girl, though. I think you'd be a little sweet on the girl. I think you'd be a little soft on her.
nah, I won't be soft.
Nah, I thought about having a daughter that I was gonna be tough, but I probably, like, I'm already soft with my son most of the time. So if I had a daughter, I'd be soft.
No, did that experience make you look at life differently in any sort of way?
Oh yeah, definitely. No, definitely. I mean, again, like, even the experience coming up to it, like, before his birth, like, it was just life changing in my sense. Like, but the thing is, like, I would say honestly, I had a rough time during the pregnancy because like I was not able to be there for what's called my partner during the time she was away. What's called at a place where they were helping her and also helping her get work, and I was working at college and also doing college at the same time. So like we had to be apart. We made time for each other when we could, but honestly, the one thing I could go back to is like I wish like the only one reason I wish that we didn't have them right here and now is that I would be better prepared with financially to be able to be there for during the months, because that's the one thing. It kind of sucked. Like I couldn't be there for most of his heart appointments, and I didn't get to see his first ultrasound, but I saw some of them, and that's like the one thing I do regret. But that's something I'm not thinking about now because again, if we ever do, we do plan on having one more in the future, but that's like 10 years from now. I'm like we're not worried about that right now. Like
Yeah,
we're
of
trying to give
course.
ourselves some like with this one, but definitely like I wish I was there more often, but I knew I couldn't help it, and I did go into like a relapse of certain things, and just I try to get out of alcohol and all that stuff, and I finally got out of it, with some minor drawbacks. I gotta go health issues stuff like that now, but at least I'm out of it. Like that's just kind of like recession feel where it gets real.
Hmm.
It was real for me during that time. The weight of it, and I couldn't do much besides go to school and work with the little money I was getting. So it just was a lot bearing on me. But I'm better now.
Yep,
Trying to be better.
and you are making it work for you too. You're not letting those adversities stop you from doing what you have to do for you and your family, and that's something that I really do admire, and I'm sure a lot of other people do as well, because you there were a lot of easy options for you. You could have continued doing what you were doing. Well,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, you could have continued doing the things that were bad for you and that would impact your future negatively. Stop. You could have done something that a lot of people do. You could have just left the child
Yeah,
with
and I'm
himself and his mother. You have so many easy options, but you decided to be responsible,
yeah,
for what, for the life that you helped bring in.
yeah. That's the whole thing. Like it just, I feel like not on top of it be unfair for her, but mainly unfair for him because again, another reason is like I thought back to my dad in my life and how he wasn't there for me most of the time, and just like comparing his to mine because like he's a boy, young, he'll be young in the future. As I grow up, he grows up. You know, I just feel like it would be unfair because if I'm not there and I only popped in here and there like my dad did, am I any better? I'm not trying to villainize my dad. Like he's human, he does his, we all do wrong, but I'm just saying, in the sense of my life, you know, I'm not gonna redo what he did, and I'm gonna be better than he could be. And he's redeemed himself. He's doing better now. I'm proud of him. I love my dad.
And
But
that's some
again, during that time frame, that's all that matters.
and that's something that we all can do. Try to be better than the people before her, before us, instead of using our negative experiences to fuel more negativity and hatred. We can
Or
use
push
that
ourselves
energy.
back.
Yeah, we can use the energy to push ourselves forward, to use our experience to enlighten people that just don't know and people that are younger than us, and we can just try to be better men, what as in what Kratos says in God of War,
Oh my
be
God, not a God
be
word for it.
be better men.
Be better, man.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, yeah, that's not bad. Honestly, that is a good quote. And also, funny enough, my shout out to Teak, my frat I used to be with most of the time, and I still love them. Like respect to all to them because they're great people. Our statement, and I may butcher this, but it's to be a better man for a better world. And I love that quota and that statement all the time because again, like I always during that time strive for myself, even before as a kid. to be a better man. Because like you see women and men fight each other. You see politics go on. You see wars go on. You see everything bad in the world go on. But truly, the one thing you need to focus on is yourself and making yourself better, not for everyone else around you, but for yourself. And getting yourself a better job, bettering your career, realizing what you love, like, and hate, and dislike. Those things, when you truly feel out those things, you become better as a person. Not 100%, not perfect, but something that can just make life easier for you. Now, not gonna make life easier for everyone else. Hopefully, maybe it will, maybe not. But that's one thing I like to always think about when I was, in teeth. And every time I think about it as a father, I look at myself in the mirror and I'd be like, how can I be a better person, better man, better father, better me for me, myself, and Ayla.
Now, has your child changed you in any way?
I would. That's a hard one because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I really changed because like most of the time I could realize like when I changed myself, but also you go through the motions so much that you don't realize you change until either someone points it out or you take a moment to take it back. Like, whoa, something's different. I mean, having a kid now, it's a lot of responsibility on top of you. Um, I guess I became a little bit more. I don't know. I'm the same person. I just have a little bit added stress at times. I have noticed that I've been a little bit more what's called a little bit more heated, especially when it comes to in the morning because like I usually am a morning person, but now with Zeke, my son, he wakes up so late. It'll be like 5, 4, or 3 in the morning. We try to go to sleep at 2 because we put him in bed at 2. He's not even at sleep recession yet. Like, Lord to the parents that know what that is. Like, it just, he's not even there yet, and he's already giving us trouble. So, me and Ayla are just trying to learn how to deal with our stress levels. And that's the one big challenge with Ezekiel that he
Mm-hmm.
really has, been testing us. And saying, like, I have changed. Like, my priorities are different. My targets on, what I need to get done now and what I need to do are similar to the same as what I needed to do before. Like, I still need to get my stuff together. Still need to get a car. Still need to get, a better job. Still need to get, myself back in school, finish my degree, get a better job through that. Like, those objectives are still there. But now, I got side objectives like, make sure he's okay, make sure, she's okay with her stress levels, do stuff like appointments, get birth certificate, all these things. Like usually before, like caring for another life gives you more of a sense of not maturity, like not automatic maturity, because maturity is something to grow as a person, like with you.
Mm-hmm.
But like that responsibility gives me more like nourishment to myself because that makes me more feel like I don't like I go from I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna ask my mom, or I go and now to like I'm gonna call, the hospital, see what they say, pediatricians, see what they say about my son's, reaction to this, or we're gonna set up appointments, we're gonna go get this done. Like I'm more of like try to get it done because again, most of the time I feel tired, exhausted because dealing with him all night.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I get used to this routine, it's been a couple weeks. I've been 2 months. I'm getting used to this routine where it's just like I've been with Ayla and Ezekiel for a month fully and a little extra
Mm-hmm.
ever since December, the end of December.
Oh
So
yeah,
I'm
it
getting used.
has been a month already.
Well, yeah, he's about to
Yeah.
actually turn 3 months actually in a
Oh,
couple of days.
3 months. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's been 3 months.
Yes, it's only been 3 months.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. I'm
I
I'm over
know.
I'm over thinking he's like 2 month old or like a month and a half, but no, he's actually gonna be 3 months
Yeah,
old.
no, he's about to be on the 6th
Mm.
of this month, which is crazy. I still got to get his
Mhm.
birthday down. That's another thing as a parent. Like if you don't have good memory, like I literally just got off the phone with the pediatrician and I was like, they asked me, what is his birthday? I'm like, November. I turned to Ayla to ask the question. I was like, November. She's like 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Yeah, November 6th, 2025. Like it's so new to me. Like I even had to remember his middle name like recently. So like it's a lot. He's a person. He's developing. We got to develop him as a person. So that's why I got to get his information down in my head because I can't just lean on Ayla to do all that for for him. It's got to be also me because Ayla's not gonna always be there. She's gonna have to start working, and she's gonna also get back in school.
Yeah.
Hopefully this upcoming fall or summer, maybe.
That's
Hopefully.
something that I will struggle with when it comes to trying to remember all these different sorts of information, especially dates. Like the only
Mm-hmm.
birthdays I know are myself, my girlfriend,
You need.
one of my siblings, and I have six, and
Oh,
and I can barely remember my mom's birthday.
oh no, yeah, you're right on the mark with me. I can barely remember some people's birthdays. Like I know what some of my friends' birthdays. The only reason I know what your birthday is because it's the day before
Yeah.
Christmas.
Hmm.
We're in
Yeah.
the same month. That's why
Yeah.
I know your.
I'm not gonna
Like
lie.
Ayla's.
Your birthday is on the 20th, right?
No, it's 19th. The 19th.
Oh,
That's 19th.
okay. Hey, I'm a day off. I'm a
No,
day off.
you're not bad. You're not bad. No, like
I'm
because
a
the
day
thing
off.
is, like, I'm lucky that my girlfriend has her birthday on February 19th and mine's December 19th. Because multiple times she would ask, what's my birthday, or where is it? And I'm just like, I'm so lucky. I'm able to remember it because like December 19th, February 19th, it's like
All
it's
you need
right there.
to remember is the month, and you're straight.
Yeah. But she'll ask me the day. So,
Yeah.
and then she
Like,
also asked me anniversary days. Like I know you probably don't deal with this. I don't know if you do, but
oh,
I gotta always remember when our anniversary happened, and then when because we had our anniversary last year, our first actually,
mhm.
and that's right before he had was born November, because our anniversary is like October. Oh. No, no! I gotta get this down. It's a
No, don't
seven.
do
I
this.
believe it's a
Okay.
seven.
You see
Or
what helps me to remember my anniversary is that it's the day it's the day before or after her birthday.
see, that's not bad. That's actually really good.
Mm.
I don't know why I can't remember. It was in.
I
I know it's in
At least I
October.
think so. At least I think so.
The least you think so. What you mean? You least you think so? You don't know either.
Well,
I'm
you
scared.
see,
Like I'm scared of
I
that.
could always just look at my phone and look at the app and it'll tell me.
Oh, you got the dating app, the app that like tells you like how long you've been dating.
Yeah.
I know. What's called my Ayla got that on her phone. I need to get that on my phone. Not gonna lie, because
Yeah.
I be caught lacking. All I know for guarantee is that February is a big month for me. I got Valentine's Day. Like it is a big month for you too, but it's a
Oh
big month for me
yeah,
because Valentine's
Valentine's Day
Day and her
is coming
birthday.
up.
Yes, literally Valentine's Day and then her birthday 5 days later, and I'm just like, oh my lord, like I don't even
You
know what I'm
know
supposed to.
what you could do. What you could do. You could you could be like, hey, your Valentine's Day gift is the same as your birthday gift.
I wouldn't do
Yeah.
it like that.
No.
Honestly, if anything, like I'm thinking about like she could hear me from the other room, but I'm
Mhm.
thinking like what's called. I gotta speak a little low for this part,
Yeah,
but again,
it's okay. It's okay.
chocolate, some sweet, some of her candy sweets for her on Valentine's Day, something sweet. Hopefully get a teddy bear or something. I'm gonna try to work something out with that. Something just nice, some flowers. And then for her birthday, I want to see if I can find someone that could do like a Dotson cake or a murder cake, either one. But she keeps on changing her mind which one she wants, so I'm like stuck in limbo of which one to choose. But I wanted it to be a cheesecake, like a cheesecake, and it has dots and designs on top of it. As long as I could do that, like that'd be
Mhm.
perfect. I try to
That
find
does
the right
sound
person
pretty
though.
good. That does sound pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what I don't know what I'm gonna do for Valentine's Day. I'm probably gonna do something simple because I don't like doing too much because I feel like it's okay. When I say that it's unnecessary, is that if she were to get me all of this stuff, I would be like, nah, you didn't have to do that because like I don't need all this
I know.
stuff.
Yeah, you're not materialistic at
Yeah.
all. Like you are, but you aren't. Like you're like when it comes to like stuff you really like, yes, card games, stuff like that. But when it comes to like gifts, you're not really materialistic unless it's something like Batman or something like
Yeah.
something you really like.
Yeah, but I make up for that by getting her gifts throughout the year. Like this weekend, I bought her a Sailor Moon figure.
Mm.
Mhm.
Okay, for Urine. Okay, okay, that's not too bad. I know she likes her Sailor Moon, Miku Miku stuff. I'm
I
surprised you didn't get her
never
no.
I never knew that she likes Sailor Moon until I asked her the day I saw the Sailor Moon figure. I never knew. She never told me.
That's one. No, yeah, that would say girls like I have to update her list of things because at the beginning when we started dating, I had like a whole like notes on my phone about like oh what does she like the Ayla package all stuff she liked she told me at first everything she liked to eat. I kept on updating it for a while, but after the baby started coming in, it's been kind of hard to try to update it. But I'm keeping things in my head and I'm gonna soon write it down. But mainly like she likes doing art. She tries to do art, but she likes to do like other stuff to mainly write in journals, and she likes watching anime time to time, but she's really like a K-pop K-drama type of girl with zombie apocalypse mixed in with that. So anytime I get her maybe a Walking Dead what's called gift I'm thinking about, but it's really hard because like she's also not very materialistic, but she likes good. She likes taking things. Like she likes getting gifts, and she also likes giving gifts. So I remember at the beginning we used to give gift awards. Like anytime we had money or hit a job or something, we'll put money inside, buy ourselves a gift with each other, and we got so bad to a point where I would win. I won most of it because most of the time she was go in between jobs, so it was
Hmm.
not really fair on her part. But I you know I still help her. I'll give her money time to time to get help get a gift, sponsor my gift, let's go. But it was sweet though. Like that's the whole thing. Like I'm
Yeah.
not materialistic. I don't expect anything like exactly. Like I don't really expect anything besides love. Being there for me, and I'll be there for you. But like if you want to give, because again, it's good to feel like to give someone something. Like I love giving her gifts when I can, and she loves giving me gifts when she can. It's like that's just a great feeling to give someone a gift, especially with Valentine's Day. But especially when I wasn't with her, during out the Valentine's Day. That I remember last year, I think around Valentine's Day, I couldn't be around her because of school. So I was the thing where people be pesky, like pessimistic to people who are around their couples during Valentine's Day.
Oh
I was
yeah.
like that person. Okay,
Mhm.
I know I'm in a couple. I know I'm in a relationship during that time. I was like, come on, man, that's not fair. Why do they get to hang out and I don't get to hang out? But mainly it was because of really it was my fault. I could have hang
Yeah.
out, but I just
I
wasn't
would
doing it.
just I would just mind my business.
No, I did mind that.
But
I did
but
mind
they
my
did be doing too much though. In high school, yeah, they be doing way too much.
high school. I
Way
really
too much.
high school. I mean,
I
again,
wish I wish it was like in elementary or kid or kindergarten where like everyone brings like some candy and then they disperse the candy throughout the entire
are you talking about
class.
college or were you talking about like what are you talking about?
Oh,
Like,
so for me when I lived in Connecticut and during
got you.
Valentine's Day and the lower grades, everyone would bring some sort of candy and then the candy would be dispersed through everyone throughout the class or like at home everyone would make candy bags and then once they got to school they would give them out to their classmates.
No, yeah, no, I did that similar to my elementary too. Like that was the whole thing. What's called we would give out candies and then stuff like that. Write down a note, like write down our names on it, who it's from, and hand it out. I don't know about like when we got older in high school. I don't remember doing much for Valentine's. Besides to my girlfriend during the high school. It's not Ayla during high school. It was someone else. But basically like I'll just do things for her during that time. But Valentine's Day is just a day that I treat my partner out to like a little sweet or something. Or if they like something, they don't have something in mind. But now with Ayla, I gotta have to do a compound. I'm not gonna push Valentine's Day back because of it, because of her birthday, but I'm really just gonna give her some sweets, some flowers, something nice. And then her birthday, I want to treat out for like a little date because we haven't had a date in like months. Last time we had a date was like October, I believe, for our anniversary. So it's been a long while. I really do want to take her out because she's been, dying in this house, and this house is amazing. Like I love being at home
Yeah.
with my mom. She's a big help. W mom, by the way.
Yeah.
She loved me. She when she first heard that I had it, I was, Ayla was pregnant. She was like, "Okay, Kabrelle, we got you." And I was like, I was about to cry, being so
Oh
mad
yeah,
because
I
I
remember.
waited. Yeah, I was about to say at the time I waited
Mm.
6 months to tell her this. So I was like, I don't want to tell my mom
Yeah, and you were
that
like
I got my
freaking out
girlfriend
about
pregnant.
it too. You were like, oh, I'm kind of nervous to tell my mom about this.
Like it was just like one of those things, like you don't know how they would react. And I was thinking like she was gonna be like, Kabrelle, you knew what better. You have college to worry about. You got to do college and all that stuff. But she was just so kind. And then when I told my grandma, also right after, she was the same way. They were gonna be supporting. But I'm guessing because again, my mom been in that situation. She had me and my brother 16, like 15, 16 or 16, 17 ish. So she was used to it, and my grandma also was used to it because again, she had helped my mom during that time with us.
Hmm.
So I don't know what I was really expecting, but also I knew I like at that time I knew I had expectations to get through college and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
that's one
as we
thing I
all,
want to.
as we all
Like
do.
I want to get done with college. Yeah, like I want to get done with college. I want to get done, do something with my degree, and provide for my family because I'm not gonna be the type where I'm gonna, get into college, have a baby, and stop. I'm not saying that's, what's called, if people have the opportunity, they will take it. I know they will, but I had the opportunity because my mom said, like, all right, I'll help you with the kid, but you gotta go back to college. Like you and Ayla gotta go to school, get money, do better, and that's just something we're gonna do. Like that's just regardless, because we're not about to sit here, with 9 to 5 jobs and be stuck in a loop,
Hmm.
and even then we'll find a way out. But like this is a good opportunity. Oh, excuse my language, but good
it's,
opportunity
it's fine. It's
to
fine.
get. Yeah, I want to say
It's
my bad,
fine.
but to get good opportunity to get out and get money and supply ourselves and support ourselves. That's the main thing.
And you guys are going to do great. I know that. I know that for sure. And I'll be here to help you guys any way I can.
No, I appreciate that, man. I do. And
Okay.
again, you better keep this up, man. Again, like I remember we used to do the other podcast besides this one. I forget the name of it. What's called the Learning Curve. I
It's
still like
it's
the name of it
still
though.
it's still called the learning curve that never changed.
Okay, so this one is the Learning Curve too.
Yeah.
Okay,
You'll
okay,
see
yeah.
it. You'll see it uploaded tomorrow.
Okay, okay, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Now,
That's good.
before we move
Because
on, do you have any do you have any advice for the fathers out there?
again, the best advice is that I could give you as a young father. And again, I'm not top tier dad. I'm not perfect. I have my moments where I crash out. I have my moments where I fall apart. Like I surely seen it recently, but try, try, try. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to fall and tumble. It's okay as your kid learns to crawl, they're gonna fall and tumble, land right on their face. But the most important thing as a dad is to constantly get up and get back up. I know it's exhausting. I know it's tiresome in the middle of the night. I know you want to quit and just leave and just leave it all alone. But like best thing you could do to yourself, not just for your family, your child, and your girl. It's mainly for you as a person, as a human being, to just be there because this is an experience you won't ever get again, especially if it's your first one. Like your first kid, like you may not realize is literally crucial because it's your first time being a dad. And if you poison that with like, what's called, oh, I can't do this, it's so tiresome, I'm just gonna leave, or you go and do something despicable, cheat on your girl or do something, be irresponsible, not take care of kids, because again, people, I'm not the type that worry what people think, but what people think also matters in this sense because if you're seen as a bad dad, what your child gonna think in the future when people tell them that? You know, like you may not think it now, but everything you do right now in this moment has repercussions for the future. That's why I'm trying to do better at taking care of my health and being here for Ayla and Zeke. No matter how many times I may get mad, upset, at any situation, I know better. I know I could do better, and just be a better man. And you're gonna have times you're gonna break. All I say is just try to communicate with your partners if you're fortunate to have a partner, be with your partner during the time. and just be strong. You know, it's okay to be weak. It's okay to just, you know, have those times where you want to, you know, just curl up. But just know that you talk to your partner, communicate better, and just, you know, tell them when you need a break and you can take a break, take a little nap, relax. It's important to, you know, make sure you have individuality, because sometimes when y'all just work on the kid, y'all forget about each other, and then you also forget about yourself. So remember that y'all have each other. Remember y'all are still partners and still lovers, and remember that you are still a human being and you're still your individual self.
Yeah. It's okay to be weak, but it's not to stay weak.
Yeah, I mean, like again, you could be weak, but it's important to know how to use your weaknesses. Like if you know you're not good at something, train it. You know, like a muscle, get better
Mm-hmm.
at it. Like if you have a short temper, practice it. Like you know, like if you can't handle stress so much, like, you know, get it better at it. Like I know Ayla, when she gets overstimulated, sometimes like she does great all the time, but then when sometimes she get overstressed, that's when the moments it could be a little bit much. But we're practicing, like that's all it is. Because again, we do it now so we don't have to do it later when it gets a bit more hectic, or you know he becomes too, you know, used to something, you know, stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
again, it's important to get those early kinks out, because it will be so much easier to iron out the shirt at the very beginning of ironing it versus later on when it's hard, stiff, and very unmovable.
And with those words, we're gonna move on to some other questions that I have for you. So, how was your college experience? Please,
Uh,
please tell the audience.
I went to Valdosta State University, same college as was got my friend here. Um, Valdosta, going to college the first time was scary. I cried my eyes out going to college the first time. Actually, like I don't know how it is, because like it's different for honestly you curves. I feel like because like you didn't you stay in Valdosta before you went, because you lived and
Yeah,
went to the high
yes,
school there.
I graduated from VHS.
Mm-hmm.
I spent the entire 4 years of high school preparing for college because I was in a program specifically for that. Yeah, so
Right.
I was going to college no matter what.
Yeah, no, and that's why you was in the honor hall. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah,
That's why.
yeah. What's funny is that I got invited to the honor program, and the only reason why I didn't apply for it is because I simply did not want to write the essay. Cause me,
Bro, you
cause, cause,
so
cause, cause me personally, I'm not writing an essay unless it's for a grade.
that's
It's just
crazy.
how it is. But I still managed to live in the honors do- um honors dorm though.
Yeah, I remember that. It
Yeah.
was not too bad. The honor
Yeah.
dorm was not too bad. I mean, honestly, but I still like I wouldn't say it's a like amazing college. It's great. Like it has amazing opportunities. The social life can be great. Like I've seen it, especially when I went to my first frat. You know, I was, you know, again, the parties, the social life, and also I mean the professors, they do care about their jobs. Like it's not that they don't. Like I mean again, I just gotta have a better time at like talking to the professors, because I'd be intimidated by my professors, because like, you know, I be trying in class and I really do. Like most of the time, I make good grades, but then, you know, I be either hyper fixated on just either working and doing the classwork and have a bit of pride, and I won't want to ask for help, or I'll ask for help a lot. You know, it just depends. But my college experience, honestly, is something I can't take away from no one else. Like, you know, that's something that I hold to myself. Like, I did what I did during that college experience. I do regret our freshman year, because I did kind of just like, you know, they put grades on the, you know, homework and grades on the back burner, and I was focused on, you know, trying to join a frat and getting drunk and doing all these first experiences and all that such. So it was really different.
Essentially,
But
essentially, you fell
mhm.
into the freshman trap because as freshmen, we are coming from a controlled environment, which is home, high school, where we have people looking after us, keeping us in check, and then we finally get that taste of freedom in a very tempting environment, and for
Mm-mm-mm.
some people, it completely takes them over, and it can ruin their lives, or it can really make their first year of college a lot more difficult than it has to be.
No, definitely. definitely. I still affected from my first year. Even now, like I'm trying to break up my grades as we speak. But I mean, honestly, like I wouldn't, I would take back certain actions, but it was still great. Like I met most of my friends. I met you during the second portion of the year, and then like I met you the
No,
first part, but then we got.
no, yeah, we actually met like the first few weeks
Mm,
in the pool room. Yeah, we were playing
yeah.
pool.
That's another thing. Like I got good. We both got
Yeah,
good at
pool.
playing
Yeah,
pool,
I
and then
played. I played too much pool.
pool, and
I
then
played
started.
way too much pool.
No, I mean, bro, I remember you used to get so fixated on pool like to a point that I would just follow up and play with you. Like we became rivals back to back. We play against people, we play with each other. Like it was just like just something fun. Like we just did it. We didn't care because most people there like they'll play pool to like like flex in front of the girls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When most of them didn't know how to even execute it properly or put chalk on a stick. But I just paid for the game, the love of the game, and then like it did have its perks because when I first met my girlfriend and we played pool, she was impressed, so stuff like that. But you know, it just like it was that. My bad, I just dropped my phone. But it was that I
It's all
learned,
good. It's all
and
good.
it was that I learned, and I learned how to play ping pong from one of my brothers.
No, I
I
hate
got
ping
better with ping
pong.
pong. It's not bad. Like you just
I
have to
don't
learn.
like
You just have to
ping
get better
pong.
with it.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Like I'm still bad at it, but I'm just saying it's a fun game to play if you want to be a little competitive with ping pong, table tennis, and then like rugby is another one I learned my second year how to play. One of my brothers like got me into it. Honestly, I love rugby. Even though I'm small in frame, like I'm under 150, like in weight, I still was able to play like scrum half and be able to pass balls off, and then run with the what's called the wings. Like it was still cool. Like if you know what I'm saying, I know what I'm saying. But basically, like run with the people running the ball and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But it's again that was another different experience because they had their own form of brotherhood besides the what's called the frat. Which again, like the frat, I love the frat. It was Teak was something that really changed my life perspective wise, and also how I view myself as a person, and it made me realize some things I didn't like and some things I really like. And then after the whole experience, I learned how to control myself because again, I realized I didn't like going around chasing girls. I realized I didn't like how you know, it was more like getting drunk and wasted every day. Even though I did do that for like I say a year, a solid year, and then I stopped because like it was just enough. It was tiresome enough. But those bad habits did come back. That's the one drawback, and especially during the time when what's called Ayla was pregnant, they came back.
And what did you do to fight those bad habits? Because I know once you get into a certain habit, I know that it can be a bit hard to break it.
Yeah, that's one thing I thought about too, like how I did it, but it was all mental. And anyways, I didn't do it so long enough that it was like truly engraved into my mind to do,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And even when I had money, I didn't really spend it on, oh, what's called spend it on either getting weed and stuff like that or, just getting alcohol. The only alcohol I'll get is wine. And even the wine was not in high dosage. I'll drink it every once a week or so when I was called in Centennial, the apartment place,
I remember when you
apartment complex that we
I
have on campus.
I remember when you started drinking wine. You you're like, oh yeah, wine is so different than beer.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so refined. It's all
I did not say all that.
it's
I
all
said it just
fancy.
tastes better, bro.
You're
Like
too you're
when it comes
you're
to
too
alcohol,
good
I'm
for
a
beer.
taste for. Oh my god. Oh my. Piss, man. Even good beer doesn't taste awesome. Like even when I was drinking beer most of the time, I wouldn't be drinking beer. I'll be drinking like Twisted, which honestly is and isn't a beer, but I consider it as a beer. But it's just like I like the sweet flavors. I like flavor. I don't like just the alcohol, the trying to get drunk. I didn't care for that. I care about the flavor. The first thing that got me hooked on alcohol was Jello shots, actually, from one of our little sisters. She had what's called made these Jello shots. It was actually for her birthday, and I didn't realize what was called during the time because again I didn't join in the frat during the time. I was just like first year freshman. They were Jello
Yep.
shots. They handed them out. I
Fresh
took
meat.
one. It delicious. It was delicious. I didn't care. It was delicious, and then it got me drunk. But I never got wasted. I only got like blacked out like 2 times in my lifetime, and I regret only one of
Two,
them because the
two,
other one was like
two times too many.
yeah, no, because well, actually 3 times. Actually, I regret 2 of them.
You
Actually,
know
the
what
first one
I
was
what
not
I
too bad.
should do is that I should put some
What?
pictures on the screen of
Okay.
you just out.
No, no, this is a podcast. This is a
Yeah,
podcast. See,
yeah,
there's
I know, I
no
know.
flipper.
I won't do it to you
And you
though.
can't even put pictures. Hopefully, hopefully. But like basically, like the first time was like everyone was blacked out. It was a big party for one of my cousins like who goes to the school with me, and a couple of my friends. We went to his dad's place in Florida. Like it was a BRB, B&B that he had rented out, and we chilled. There was a pool there, and we just got turned up with his family and got drunk and blacked out. We all blacked out. We all woke up and threw up in the morning. It was hilarious, but we did not feel good. But we had McDonald's on the way, so we were fine. I remember losing one of my headphones in that bathroom that day, so that was another beat I lost. But mostly, that was the first one. That was the only one that was okay. The second one was kind of bad because it was a girl I was hanging out with during the time. I blacked out and I kind of sucked. I was trying to impress a girl. I was being a
Drop the
dummy, and
ball.
exactly. I dropped the ball.
Drop the ball.
Third time, this was like that. Second time was still during my freshman year. Third time was actually when I was with Ayla. She took care of me. Bless her heart. I love her so much for this. Like she took care of me. One of my friends, Mike. Oh my God, my rugby what's called player of mine. He was trying to. I try to keep up with him. He's a big guy. He's a sizable size guy. Like he's like around
Yeah,
close to 6 foot.
I
He's a
I've
big guy.
I've met him, right?
No, I'm pretty sure you met him or seen him before. But he looks like if you've seen a scrum, like one of the scrum, or like a forward, like you know what a forward is, rugby. Basically, see that, but like just a bigger guy. And I don't know how to describe him. Like I wish I could show you a picture, but I'm 150. He's probably 250 plus. There's a definite size difference. And I try to keep up with him. He drank about like 30 beers at the alum party that we went to. And I just like this is not the first time I'm blacked out, but like this is just one time where I tried to test myself and I kept up to like 20 to 19 beers until I was like almost
Okay,
KO.
first of all, why would you try to contest a dude that is nearly twice your size?
Because like why like the thing is if you submit
That
in
sounds
front
like
of
a bad
a
idea.
grand challenge,
No, no,
like
no,
I just
no, 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 no. You
look,
cannot.
it was not.
You
I'm
cannot.
not
You
saying it was not
cannot
good.
word this in a way to make it right.
I'm
Wait, no,
not
sorry.
trying to make it right. Look. It was wrong. Okay, it was dumb because
Very
again I
dumb.
was going to lose, but those who face a challenge as such as this and fall back lose more nerve than those who challenge it and face it. I faced it, okay? I took it on. I took it, and I didn't win, but I had a good time. It was fun, and I came out slosh. But then, what's called the time we went to a party with me, him, and Ayla. I was in and out. I started going in and out after drinking a little while, and if those who drink alcohol, you hear this forbidden word or you hear this, what's called devil liquor called Everclear. That stuff, you get your hand on it, even just like a shot worth will put you out. Somehow, me and my, clouded vision got behind our bar in our like frat house and, got myself something, a little drink, stuff like that. Um, but like, it was just I blacked out and I had to get carried on. It was just a L victory to that time. It just sucked.
I
I just
carried
like
you, by the way.
yeah, I know. Y'all carried me back to my boy David's place. I mean David's car, and we took him out.
Yeah,
And then
try not to name drop too much. Like if you're like involved in anything like that, try not to name drop because
okay.
it might get him in trouble or something. So
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But yeah, they all gave me good help. It was not too much.
yeah, because I don't know who you're
But like
talking about.
yeah, no, yeah, I get you. But like when we made it back to the dorm, I was okay. I killed, and we lay down, me, Ayla, and then I threw up everywhere. Apparently I didn't remember the
Oh
whole time.
wait, yeah, I remember this day. I remember. I remember.
Yep. I didn't see. I didn't like what's called. I the next day I was okay. Like I didn't have no hangover or anything. I was okay. And then the only person that told me everything was like Ayla. She told me everything. And I was like, oh my god, I felt so bad. And I was wondering what happened to the bed because the bed was stripped of its blankets and sheets. And I was just like, I did that. I don't even remember. Like, but basically the point is like college was like it's a whirlwind, and I made some decisions I did not like and some decisions I did like, but it's experience I learned. It's
Mhm.
experience I will tell my son one day when he's old enough, and just let him know better for my choices. I mean, it's not going to stop him from doing it, but it will
No,
encourage
no,
him to
no,
do
no.
better.
Ed will. Ed will. Nah, he ain't doing any of this. Nah,
Hopefully not.
he ain't doing any of this. But
I,
a lot of people have the same experiences as you,
same as him.
cause
Same as him.
yeah, cause again, it's a trap that a lot of freshmen fall into when they first get into college, and
Yeah, temptation.
maybe it's something that they have to experience so they can learn and so they can
Yeah.
know what to do and what not to do. But what are some things that they don't tell you about college?
Um. One thing is like the one thing they don't really tell you about college is how lax it could be. Like relaxed. Like it could be like the teachers in high school would tell me like, oh, y'all gotta get this stuff in because if you don't get it in, or if you don't go to class on time, you'll get in trouble. Yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the thing is college is a little bit more flexible what teachers be saying, but they
Mm-hmm.
are true. The words they say are true because again, if you don't get your work on time, certain college professors do not care. Like I've been
Yeah.
in some classes where they don't care. Like oh, you got your arm lopped off. Like that's still a couple points off your grade. You know, like they just don't care. I'll type up
Yeah.
something about me being sick. Literally, I was in bed coughing, feel like I was gonna cough up my lung. I was one time, and they just didn't care. Like I had to go to the doctor that day to provide proof that I was sick, even though it was the day after. So I don't know. I don't know. Like
Yeah, some
so
professors are like that. I've had a few professors that are like that, and it's not fun. But the few professors that you get that are very understanding are the best professors that you will ever have.
yeah, and then but also the ones that also on top of that make sure you do your work and not
Mm-hmm.
saying like make sure like stand over you like they give you like encouragement. They encourage you to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you feel lost, you could go to them. It's not like oh you had to do it yourself. Like if they say like oh you can ask me anything. I got work hours. You can ask me anything. You can ask me during class, after class. Stuff like that. Those kind of professors are the ones I really like. I'm more comfortable with approaching because like I said before, I have a hard time approaching professors because I have a pride thing, and I'm getting over it now. Where I wouldn't like to talk to him or try to approach him because I feel like it would be more like asking for a handout. But again, I'm
Ego,
learning, and I'm still to get through that.
ego.
Yeah, ego, basically
Mhm.
ego. But I'm getting past it. I'm getting past it, and I know it's important because again, I'm just ruining my grades, and that's what I did for a little bit.
Do you have
But
any regrets? And if you do, why?
yeah, definitely. Like, what's called wasting away my freshman year, and not wasting away, but like making my grades because I in freshman year like plummet because I had a 3.6 coming into college, and it was a
Mhm.
good GPA, and then now
That's
it
it.
plummet under a
That's
3
it.
point.
I had a
Wow.
I had a 3.8, 3.9.
Okay, calm down. I was not actually I was not even
Rookie
gunning for
rookie
college at first.
numbers.
I only went for college. I only gunned for college the last year of like my senior year. I didn't even think about it before. And then I was like, my grades look okay. Okay, let's go to college.
Who
Like I didn't any prep for it.
who convinced you to go to college?
I mean, no one really convinced me. I knew I had to go to college like ever since I was 12. 12 to
Mhm.
11. Like, I actually cried about to my mom and my grandma about it because I was like, I'm gonna have to leave and leave y'all and just go off to college. it was something silly to my mind, like to them at the time. But like, I realized at a young age that I was gonna have to grow up, and I was gonna have to do things, that I didn't really want to do, or move away from people I loved. So I knew I had to go to college, but during the years in between, I really was focusing on myself, and I was trying, like, there's only so much you could do as a kid, like, again.
Yeah.
But I was focused on myself and doing stuff with my friends and stuff, and enjoying the times I had with them before I went. So I mean, again, my mom encouraged me to go to college, and everyone in my family encouraged me to go to college. On top of that, so it was just like, okay, I go. So, but I during the times I didn't really try to aim. I think it was during my sophomore year or my junior year. I tried to start taking some classes for it, like AP
Oh, you
Chem.
were.
Oh my,
Oh, I took I took AP Environmental Science, and I
yeah,
actually really liked that class because the teacher was actually really cool, and the
yeah.
experiments were also very interesting.
Yeah, I love science in high school and what's called middle school too. Like I loved it. The only science I didn't like was chemistry. Honor chemistry was so hard. Like, oh my lord, it was so hard. Like I don't know what it is. Like I could do chemistry now, but like chemistry in like high school was just so hard. I'm thankful to that teacher. She gave me a buy and made it so I was passing the class at least with a C, a low C. I was like, oh
Mhm.
my god, thank you to her. God
How
bless her
many
name.
how many colleges did you apply to?
Honestly, I didn't apply to none other than Valdosta because, like, if I
Mm,
would have took the SAT or the ACT, I would have applied to more.
mhm.
But at the time, I was just going for the quick, easy route, and that's my problem. Is like I could have chose a different college, but honestly, I'm glad I chose Valdosta because I met you. I met so many people through connections and teak and all that stuff. Now I have like so many people I could rely on to talk to and ask stuff about. So like honestly, it was a good trade. I went to college and I went to Valdosta, and Valdosta was a good pick. I didn't have no other college in mind at the start though.
Okay, well, like I said, for me, I was in Avid, which is a program trying to prepare kids for college. So I mean, I was preparing for this for 4 years, and
Yeah, yeah.
like yeah, I did take the SAT, and I applied to a lot of colleges, and
Mm,
I got accepted by actually most of them. I even got accepted to Morehouse. The
Morehouse.
yeah the dang, what's the word? The It's a black college in Atlanta. It's
I
a
know what you're talking.
predominantly black college. Yeah.
Mm.
But I
So what?
decided
Why
to
did
go
you
with
take?
hmm?
Why didn't you go then?
Oh, just it was really expensive because even with my scholarships, I was still paying tens of thousands out of pocket.
I mean, you could have done student loans.
Yeah, but and then plus it was in the Atlanta area. There's too much going on there. Way
Oh,
too
I
much
thought you
going
had family
on.
though.
I mean, yeah, I do have family near Atlanta, but I would still have to live on campus.
Oh,
And the one of the main reasons why I chose Valdosta was because it was one of the cheaper colleges, and it was in an area that I'm familiar with, and I didn't want to leave the people that I already knew here, because growing up I had to move around a lot, and I couldn't keep a steady group of friends because I was always moving. So I wanted to try
right.
to change that. And that was when I was training at the gym too. So I knew a lot of people, and I was really content with the life that I had. So I just decided to just keep it the same.
Oh, I get you. I get you.
Mhm.
That's right.
Now,
That's right.
now, do you feel like anything needs to change about about the education system when it comes to college?
Mm. I mean, this input right now about it is kind of dusty because like I feel like the education system is doing decent enough, but again, with the whole thing, going on with our president and everything like that, Certain things are trying to be scrubbed out and replaced or not mentioned. Even when I was went to my history class last semester, my professor would talk about things that he was going on with like information in education that was being removed on the lower levels of education, like middle school, high school, elementary. Talk about slavery and stuff like that. um I don't really see any problems because again, I don't have a strong opinion or know much about what's going on with the education system. Even though, even from my personal experience, I feel like they're doing just as good as they're doing now, as long as they don't try to remove history that is factual, like those things that happen. With the system, I feel like again, um, I wish there was more funding. I just chose the wrong school for for the thing I wanted to go for originally because I actually wanted to go for astronomy at first, but then I chose computer science as a second pick,
Yeah,
which I
you
mean I'm
you
not
did
too mad
choose
about.
the wrong school because as soon as you came here, they removed the astronomy program
Yeah,
from here.
I know. And I was just sitting there like, what am I supposed to do? Like I was tempted to switch and move, but I was too comfortable with my friends at that time, like you said, and I just didn't decide. Which I kind of regret, but also I'm kind of again I'm glad that I chose what I chose. Um, it just like I don't know. Like I again, like I said, like I just want information to be straight up and forward. The education system, like it's just they trying to get back that whole thing with AI and people using AI to cheat and all that stuff. And that's one thing it's coming harder. Like even though I'm saying this, I know I used it for certain classes I didn't care about. That is a problem because like we become to a point with AI and technology where certain things we could just not care about and just let something do it, and other things would be like, oh, well, I'm focusing, I'm doing this, I'm gonna get it done. Like, I'm not trying to justify me using it because when I used it, I only used it for classes, I don't care about. And if, I have something that I need to get done right now and I couldn't think of something, so I use it as assistance.
And for me, something that really needs to change is how expensive college is. Because college is so expensive, and you can rack up a lot of debt. Even for a student coming straight out of high school, I had uh,
Mm,
I I had the Hope Scholarship, and I had two other grants, and then plus whatever other financial aid, and it still wasn't enough to cover for
no,
my tuition. I still had to take out a few
loans.
loans. Yep, and I still have to do that to this day. So like I know that if I really don't find a stable job out of college, I'm gonna be hurting because I'm gonna have this debt that I won't be able to pay.
I mean, you can still do payments over time,
I
and
mean,
also you
yeah, of
could
course.
decide.
Mhm.
Um,
It's
I
just
wish I kept my whole scholarship though. I wish I
yeah.
did
It just
because like
it
buying
just really needs
time.
to change. It's like even for students who don't have the Hopes scholarship, it's just it is just outrageous the amount of money that you have to pay to further your education because everyone knows the expectation is that after high school you go to college, you get your degree in order to
Mhm.
get a stable job, to enter the workforce. But you have to be in debt for it. It just makes no sense to me.
I mean,
But
I don't know. The whole way our system works, like, with capitalism, everything works around money. And again,
yeah,
everything
definitely.
if it wasn't for money, it would be trade. And since like if we think like this, right? With like, oh, if we didn't have to go in debt with money, we had to go in debt with a contract saying that, oh, we owe this amount of time for years to work or to give, yada yada. Because again, before currency, there was trade. You would trade goods and you would trade work. You would do something for someone as a trade before currency became a big issue with gold and silver. And it's just like it's one of those things where I understand like the debt is something enormous because some people go to debt like almost $500,000 and their job is not going to be able to even pay that much in their entire lifetime. But it's just like it's one of those things where it's kind of like a norm nowadays, like everyone's going to be in debt. unless you got millions of dollars to pay yourself out of it. And again, you're gonna be in debt in some way or form, either hospital bills, mortgages, taking out a loan to buy something, school. It's just like it's constant money, 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 and we're constantly in a loop. And we can't think of a better system than this because it's been working or semi working for so long that it just is, And I don't blame you for feeling that type of way because like I wish I was in debt. I wish I could, just go to school, learn, and just trade out, either working for some amount of years with pay, base pay, and I'll be fine, or base money or something like that. It's just again it's just unfortunate how our system works, but we're so used to it by now.
Yeah, because like back in, the 90s, the 80s, school did not cost the amount of money that it does now. So
It's just
then
all about it.
yeah, but economics and stuff like that, but then nowadays it's like what's the point of going to college, just just to be in debt, especially since there are so many opportunities nowadays that doesn't require you to have a college degree. There are so many opportunities available.
Yeah, but going to college just basically says like, oh, I'm qualified. I mean
Yeah,
that
yeah.
again, and what college you go to also means like, oh, I'm qualified, but I have a gold sticker on my qualification, or this is a very prestigious, school that I got the sticker from, stuff like that. And on top of it, it's not just that you're qualified; it's also some kind of training, some kind of knowledge background, at least saying that you did know or you did study for it. And some degrees and some majors, like you could get away with that. I feel like business majors and majors that are very less factual, like not saying business majors are not factual, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like you have versus a computer science major. I have algorithms. I have code, lines of code that I could learn. I have to learn to be able to do what I have to do. Business, you have to know how to talk to people. You have to learn how to, get connections. You know how to do all this stuff. If you don't have that kind of, drive, it's kind of easy to fall off. But also, same thing for, computer science major. If you don't have the drive to learn these algorithms, and then on top of that, learn these lines of coding, then learn how to turn that into something you can use, be able to apply it, then you also fall short as well. It's just like even if you go to college, it's not a guarantee because you have to, really force yourself to do something. Put that work ethic to real use. Because if you don't, you might be wasting your time.
Yeah, and that's something that I have realized. I need to be more proactive when it comes to my learning and when it comes
Mm.
to, mastering these skills that I'm trying to sharpen, that I'm trying to obtain, and to really have a goal, be certain of what I want to do and figure out what I need to do to proceed those goals. Like this podcast, for example, this is something that I want to be very successful along, with my streaming and uploading videos on my other channel. I want to be more consistent on it, and I will be more consistent, and I will make sure that I achieve my goal of making something out of nothing, which is
Thanks.
what I'm trying to do right now.
You're doing a great job.
Mhm.
Proud of you.
So now, before we wrap up this episode, we've been talking about pretty serious things, and I want to end this podcast on a lighter note.
Hmm.
So I know that you are an avid gamer, and
Right.
I know that you love God of War. Now,
Right.
now I want you to tell me why Kratos is one of your favorite fictional characters.
I want to first say something that when I first played that game, I first played God of War 4, the fourth edition to the series. Um, I never played the God of Wars before that one. I played
Technically, it's just God of War.
again. Yes, it is just God of War. That is the title, but
Yeah,
everyone
but
calls it either War or just
yeah,
God of War.
it is God of War 4. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But again, again God of War. But the reason why I love Kratos and his story is because I remember seeing as a kid when I was growing up the games, like the gameplay of Kratos, God of War, the revenge, the bloodshed, the murder, getting back at the gods who had betrayed him, who made him kill his family, those who had forsaken him and told him lies and such and that. And Athena, it's such a compelling story. You feel like, you egg him on and you tell, like, oh, do it, you gotta do it, you gotta get revenge. Your family was taken away from you, you've been manipulated and everything. And after like these three games came out, then this fourth one comes out after like so many years, and then it really tells you like the other side of the story, like the cause and effect of it. Like he did all this. Now the effect is now he's somewhere else. And he's not over here rejoicing over, killing all these people and this tearing up this whole pantheon. Like again, I'm sorry for those who haven't played the game, but if you're a gamer and you know what's going on, what I'm saying, you would know what I'm saying. But I'm gonna try to, keep it simple. But this guy just, destroyed an entire world. And now we left with not this, fireball of anger and vengeance, but a man that is trying to do right. From the all wrongs that he committed. He's not the type to look back and be like, "Huh, yes, I did that." He's the type that's like he hates himself for it. He doesn't say it. He doesn't openly, say anything about it, but you could see on how the ways that he looks at his forearms that are scarred with burn marks from the chains of weapons that he used to kill people and kill the gods that had forsaken him, and the way he talks to his son Atreus, like what's called a half human god, and he tells him like you got to be better. Gods are not to be trusted, and even though he himself is a god, he means that to himself as well. It's indirect because you know he is a father. He was a father before Atreus, and that's another thing I take more meaning now, especially because I'm playing the game again after the fifth time, especially after having my son. It just it's just one of those things as like you could take a double take as a father, as someone that has been through a life where like you kind of did things or you did a couple things you didn't like to do or you did wrong, and you just look at this man who did so much wrong, but yet is trying to do good, trying to honor his late wife's, wishes to, throw her ashes across the highest peaks, and just, trying to honestly just do good while also teaching his son the right ways. And it's a beautiful story about a man that's just trying to be simply better.
Yeah,
And
it is very beautiful. Very. It just goes to show that even if you have done a great deal amount of wrong, you can still be redeemed, and you can still do good in this world, and you can still try to be better for the people that you care about and for the future generation. And I think it's a story that every father and every son needs to dive into, because I feel like there will be a lot that they can relate to.
no, yeah, no, definitely. Like I related to the son part, growing up as I played the game, and then when Atreus and the Ragnarok. I'm not gonna get into much of Ragnarok, but then you start playing as Atreus in that game, and then you start relating to that time as a son, as a the son of a father who has great might, but then also the son of a mother who has great mystery and learning about more and more yourself. And then, going back to play the first game, the what's called the fourth game again as a father, I just realized, again, Kratos is not doing this just for himself. He's doing this so it will be better for Atreus because he sees the moments where Atreus loses control, let his anger out. It's not just Atreus he sees; it's himself from the past that he sees. That's why at the beginning he sees visions, vivid visions of Athena, and then when you go to hell, he sees visions of his father, talking to him, and just reminders and reminders. But again, even at the end of the game, he soon accepts the things he had done. He soon allow himself to redeem himself by using the things he had did before to his benefit, to become a better father, not only to himself but to his son, because he
Yeah,
was rough around the edge at the beginning. Like, like he was not able to talk to, Atreus with full on conversations. He would say grunts. He would say, okay. He would just call him to do something. Atreus would do the same thing. They both seem awkward. But as you went through the story, you see as they matured, got more close together, more, fluid, more warm. And honestly, that's the one thing I loved about it. It's just the heartwarming, attachment you feel because like you don't only just see yourself as a Atreus or Kratos, you see them as their father and son, and you just feel heartwarming because like now you see Atreus as your son, and you may see a Kratos as a father figure. It's just a beautiful story, and I love it through and through. That's why I always play it and replay it 24/7.
Yeah, and it is a great story because it also shows how your past doesn't define you, and
Mm.
even and again, even though you've done a great deal of bad in the past, you can still use that to further improve yourself, to go on a journey of redemption, and to learn how to accept the pain that you have felt, and learn how not to disperse that pain onto the other people around you. Because I feel like when someone goes through a lot of trauma, or or simply they've had a bad day or anything of the sorts, they tend to put that energy onto other people, or they be very dismissive of the things that they have done. They don't learn from their mistakes. But this story shows you how to just be better, and just how to carry yourself in the proper way, that you need to carry yourself for your sake and for the sake of the people around you.
Right.
Well, it was nice having you on the podcast, Cabral, and I'm sure that I will have you
Thank you.
on
Thank you.
here again. Now, before we say goodbye, is there anything else that you would like to say?
I mean, to those who are listening, I mean, I just want y'all to know that again, just love everyone that you have close. I want you to know that again, just because you're young, just because you feel like nothing could happen, anything can happen, especially in life. I recently lost a loved one last year, and I recently realized, anyone could be taken at any moment, you know, and in those times, family is truly important. So I want you to know, love everyone in your family, love those your friends, your loved ones, everyone close to you, even your neighbor. Show love in some way or form because like just being hateful when things could go south so easily, especially during this time of crisis and everything. It's very important to understand that love is something that was going to push us through, and that we need to be here for each other. And any fathers or parents that out there scared and not know what to do or just stressed out, I mean, understand, like, we I get you, I understand you, and I hope that someone knowing, or at least knowing what you're going through, gives you a bit of comfort, especially when having to find a job, or trying to get your career aligned. And I thank you, my friend Curves, for allowing me to be on this podcast because, again, it's been a long time. And, I enjoy our deep talks.
Yeah, it has been a while since we were able to sit down and talk, even for an
Right.
hour. I know you've been
Mm,
busy. You got your
yeah.
you have your responsibilities, and I had mine. But
Yeah.
that's life.
Yeah. That's life indeed.
And with that being said, I would like to thank everyone who took their time out of their day to listen to what we have to say. I really do appreciate you doing that, and I hope that you will stick around. If you have any topics or questions, or you want to be featured on this podcast, just go ahead and let me know down below, or you can message me on my socials. Either or, just contact me in some way, and please like, subscribe, and comment and share this podcast, so we can share the knowledge to the people that are around us. And with that being said, thank you very much, and I hope you all have a good day.